gay-ass name for a gay-ass podcast.
Bryan Safi makes his gay-ass return to That's a Gay-Ass Podcast, looking stunning as ever. Bryan, who gave you the right to be so handsome?
I'll tell you, my new SPF. Give it up for La Roche-Posay. The UV Mune SPF 50 plus.
And you're
using the new sunscreen filters that were just allowed in the United States. So I am state of the art over here.
Wait a minute. Are you bragging that you are clued into international skincare that was once illegal in these États-Unis?
Listen, I am a walking contraband, okay? I am importing, exporting. I'm doing everything I can to extract things, to make my skin send and receive moisture in a very continental way.
Well, it is giving continental or even intercontinental, if I may, Bryan. And I have to say that we have so much to dive into in addition to your skincare. Yes, there are going to be questions about your world travels. Yes, there are going to be questions about your off-Broadway debut. And yes, we are going to Substack so I can ask you about what? Your hairy chest and personal questions. Bryan Safi, first controversial question. You are giving bi-coastal these days. Currently, on which coast are you?
I am currently on the West Coast for about 30 hours, and then I'll be back on the East Coast in New York through the rest of the summer. But yeah, and I was just in Texas visiting my parents. I mean, are they the most glamorous cities? No, but here we go, you know?
Oh, I'd say El Paso ranks as the top 5 most glamorous cities in the country.
Thank you. It should. It really should. Beautiful streets, beautiful
gowns.
Beautiful gowns. Taylor Swift's there. It's great.
Wait, really?
No. But you remember Aretha said that about Taylor Swift.
Oh, right. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Thank you for the connection. Wait, so, okay. Because you are a podcast legend and I'm such a fan of yours as a comedian, as a human, I feel like I just want to sort of, yes, I have some questions prepared, but I think we should go with the wind on this episode. So since Taylor Swift hath been brought up, do we believe that they're getting married at Madison Square Garden? Is that the truth, Ellen?
How could that possibly be true?
It feels it feels too tacky.
Would anyone want to get married? But I do believe, by the way, that they have that many friends. They are the kinds of people who could actually fill 25,000. Like their close friends include 25,000 people. Because when you look at her trajectory of meeting someone and then becoming best friends with them, think of all the people she's met in her life. It wouldn't be a fan event. It would literally be their friends.
I mean, Todrick Hall alone is going to bring 1,000 of his own.
Exactly.
So I'm really interested in where we're at culturally, where we're believing that Taylor Swift is planning a Madison Square Garden wedding. I'm also interested where we're at culturally because things are happening behind the scenes that are coming to light. One thing is that Bryan Safi's solo show called Are You Mad at Me? It is playing off Broadway July 10th to August 15th. And on the website, there is a quote from a Sir Andy Cohen, who is giving a really beautifully said review about Bryan Safi. Andy says Bryan is as brilliant as he is hilarious, something I agree with. But my question for Bryan Safi as a gay journalist is, what do we think about Andy finding his Prince Charming? It's big.
It's huge. And also to go out, I feel like Andy, whenever he's been maybe photographed or papped with someone before, it hasn't been deliberate. And this is definitely like, I feel like they're locked in. If Andy is promenading with this person around New York City, who, by the way, is a total, both of them are total catches. And Andy's guy also is like catchy and then quirky. Do you know what I mean? Like,
wait, what's quirky about him?
Well, I don't know. It's just like you look at him and he's like, oh, that's a really handsome guy. And then you look a little more and you're like, Andy's got character. There's just something distinctive about him. Do you know what I mean? And
no, it is so great to see a
and
wealthy man.
And you could say that about
like
Andy Cohen too. Yes.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is you see a wealthy man and you think that, you know, they're only going to go with the 24-year-old twink that has a perfectly perfectly symmetrical face, and to go asymmetch, ooh, how chic. I also find that it's just, Andy is someone who asks so many personal questions about his housewives, and that's why we tune in. But then to see the sort of microphone be pointed towards him about his own love life, and to see him coming out and saying, "I found the one," I don't know. A lot of gay people have feelings about Andy Cohen. I am very excited for him.
Me too. I'm a fan. I've always been a fan. I feel like there wouldn't be movies like Bridesmaids even without him in a way, just because he really allowed women to not be perfect or allowed them to be sloppy on camera with probably the best dialogue on television.
100%. Writers' room wishes this is. Yeah,
absolutely.
No, I do feel a little embarrassed that I have not. I've only watched the first couple episodes of Rhode Island, but I'll get to it. I'll get to it.
Yeah, I'm not caught up, but in general, I do find myself, and possibly, I don't know, this is maybe because I was raised by a very alpha mother, that there is something very calming to me about watching these women express their opinions about, honestly, and get riled up about not very much, but there is something that I'm like, oh good, someone else is in charge. I feel that way about Judge Judy too, where I'm like, oh, I don't have to stress out right now or get upset because you've got this handled. I can just fully relax into it. Which I guess is diabolical, because some might think these are stressful shows. But yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Well, some, but that's partly why I love watching couples therapy, dare I say, because Orna, the therapist, is so in control, but in the opposite way, in a calm way, where I do feel so comforted by that. Have you watched couples therapy?
Of course. And by the way, she is just so cool and chic.
So cool. Although, I think she's so cool and so chic. Did you see her? I don't think so, honey, on Lost Culture.
I didn't know. What did she say?
It's the only time I've seen her falter.
What did she say? Was it her subject?
Yeah. She goes, "I don't think so, honey. People telling me to put a leash on my dog." And all of a sudden it's like, well, wait a minute. And she's
relatable to no one except dogs.
Except for the dog's like, right, exactly. So basically, who, by the way, her dog is an angel and she doesn't need to have a leash, I presume. But her point is that when she's like walking through the streets of New York and people give her shit for having her dog off a leash.
Not even in LA, not even in a dog park, just walking in New York without a leash is psychotic.
I chose not to engage too deeply because I didn't want to change my perception of her. And I was telling Matt about it. I was like, yeah, she had this really intense take about people being mad at her for not having a leash on her dog. And I was like, this is one of the only times I can say like Orna might be in the wrong, because by the way, I love to walk without my dog. Like if there's a patch in the Silver Lake Reservoir where we're fenced in and I can take my dog off the leash and let him roam free, it feels like I'm letting my child self roam free. Like it is, but that's so controlled for Orna to be on the streets of New York and then complaining that people are telling her to put a leash on her dog. Right. I do find to be, not on the right side of her street.
Like everyone, including pedestrians and cars, ignore crosswalks.
Exactly.
It just could not be. It's not a word. I can't think of a worse idea.
And you know what? At least as far as problematic things go for Orna, it's a dog leash thing and not like her feelings about an entire race. Like at least that's what
what? That's true. But the idea that Orna could say that, then look around a room nodding is nuts.
Well, it's also nuts that I find it to be so calming to watch couples in crisis. I think that's another topic for maybe another day. But it is
a thing, though. I get it. It's sort of just like, at least it's not me. There, but for the grace of God go I. Yeah.
Listen, and I myself am in a legal marriage, and I find it so refreshing to see people have much worse problems than we have. As a little Easter egg before we go to the Substack after the main pod, can you tell us, do you have a public stance about your relationship status? Are you giving a single?
Yeah, I am not single. I am with someone. I call him my private client because he works in like a public sector job, and I just don't want to bring him into my mess.
Which is so smart, and God bless a gorgeous boundary. How long have you been with this private sector man?
We've been dating for probably 4 years and have been like locked in together for probably like a year and a half, because that is actually the reason I'm in New York so much now, is we met in New York, and then that is what's been taking me there more and more, because his job doesn't really allow him to come to LA, except he'll come visit on like a weekend or something. But when I'm not working here, it's very easy for me just to sort of Carol Radziwill shack up there. And so that's what I do. But
dare I say you're living the dream, Bryan, to have a gorgeous man in New York that you can sort of put your bags down and enjoy. But then if you need an escape, go back to your LA home in Silver Lake. I find that to be the dream.
I have to tell you, it is, you talk about boundaries. I mean, when things get heated, there can easily be 2,500 miles between us, and it's not a problem. It doesn't really, we don't really go there, but it's a nice, you know what it is? The
Options.
idea that that's there. Exactly.
It's literally any couple's dream, which is just the like choice of escape. I find to be.
I gotta say, it's absolutely fabulous. So when someone says I'm bi-coastal, I do go with it, but I'm also like, but I'm only paying for one place. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But no, it is great.
That is a fun distinction with bi-coastality, which is if you are in fact in a place to be able to pay for two homes, that is, we all aspire, I think.
Of course.
You're on your goddamn way. In fact, another little Easter egg that we'll get into is you just wrapped your 9th season of 911 on ABC, which is how crazy to be employed right now in Hollywood, Bryan. It is. You're an ancient artifact.
Honey, believe me, I am in the tar pits. I am there with the mammoths. I'm saving that baby. Yeah, it is. Listen, that is a job that I was supposed to be on that job for like 2 episodes, I think. And then it's just been, I don't even know the word. It's been such an incredible thing that I've been able to be on it for as long as I have. And really, not only do I think like the showrunner, the producers for that, I also think Jennifer Love Hewitt for that, who I am with many of my scenes are with her. And she's just been such a champion for me in that way. And yes, I'm very, very happy to be working.
Well, I was actually going to bring her up because your show, which sounds amazing. It's for anybody who doesn't know, Bryan has done this in Edinburgh, done it a bunch in LA, and now is getting like a delicious 30-show run in New York City. Past guest of the podcast, Kevin Zach, is working with you on it. And
has Kevin been on this show?
He's been on. I'm hilarious. Not only such a fan of his, but of course in love, because who couldn't be? But the Jennifer Love Hewitt of it all, she's one of the producers on your show, which is so cool. I think, though, as a gay-ass podcast host who used to bring up Whoopi Goldberg on just about every episode, I wanted to take a return to form here and ask you, if you have filmed so many scenes with Jennifer Love Hewitt, has Sister Act 2 ever come up between you?
You know what? I don't think how it must have at some point, but I don't know that it has, to be honest, which is a real, real blind spot. I mean, what have I been doing for the past,
when you next on set, and when do you think you can ask her?
So later in August, basically, I'll be back.
Oh,
so
we're close.
I will ask her. I'll run in screaming, just like that guy did in Widow's Bay. There's something in the fog. I'm going to say, why haven't we talked about Sister Act 2?
Bryan, I haven't started it yet, and I hear it's everything.
It's so fun. I mean, it's great. You'll love it. Period. Are you not a horror movie person, or you just haven't started it because blah?
It's actually both. I horror for me is, my famous stance is that why would I pay to feel anxious when I already have it every hour of every day? Yeah. However, I hear that one's giving a little more psychological. Is that?
Definitely. It's not like I went into it thinking, because I do love horror. The problem is I just don't love watching horror by myself.
Sure.
But I like going with someone and being in an audience or something. But this is not that. It really isn't. There are not really it's more psychological, I would say. There are some jump scares, but it's not like watching, Obsession or something like that.
Sure. It's better to be jump scared at home, I think, too, when you're watching like a television program. I watched The Substance in theaters with 10 fingers in front of my eyes, and I'm glad I saw it, but like... Yeah.
No, if you can handle the substance even that way. I mean, it's nothing like that. Yeah.
Okay, God bless America. I will say though, I have to do my duty as a podcast host by asking you an updated podcast question. Bryan Safi, when you came on this podcast years ago, which by the way, everybody should go back and listen. I was re-listening to prepare for this, and Bryan is always such a peach. But you gave a great answer for what made you gay. You said it was Lily Tomlin and Bette Midler's Big Business, which was really important. But I think we want to delve into your history even more by asking you an updated question, which is, Bryan Safi, who was your first gay? Who was the first gay you saw and said, that could be me?
Ooh. Okay, let me think. Okay, I got it. Not a famous person, though. Is that okay?
Even better.
I went to a community theater production of Lost in Yonkers, okay? Mm-hmm. And by
Simon.
one Neil Simon, who has never even made me crack half a smile.
Uh-oh. Neil Simon catching strays.
Who's never even made me say, huh. Anyway, I was watching this community theater production of Lost in Yonkers, and the guy playing, I believe the main characters, I forget her name, but Mercedes Ruehl played her in the movie. The guy playing, I think, her brother, who's like a gangster, and he teaches the kids about what moxie is. I remember thinking like, wow. And by the way, don't know how I figured this out at such a young age, but I later found out that he was, in fact, gay, even though he was playing this really alpha gangster. I just had a sense about it. And I remember thinking, just this tough talking guy. I also had like, speaking of Big Business, Working Girl, these were all movies that I believe, Soap Dish even when I was a kid, were all movies set in New York. And so I feel like Lost in Yonkers went along with that theme where I was like, watching this guy do this horrible Bronx accent and thinking to myself, I have got to get to New York. And even though I may fuck this man. Probably didn't think that at the time.
Yeah, how old were you when you saw this production of Lost in Yonkers?
Young. Too young to think something like that.
I gotta go to New York and fuck this man.
Hug this man. Yeah.
Hug. Yeah. No, we all had horrific thoughts at 9 years old about other men that we don't
talk about it enough, but we really did.
No, it's so funny how there's so much discourse around like age gap shit, but we don't go necessarily into the 9-year-old to like, our 9-year-old crushes. I have said this on the podcast before. I dreamt at 10 years old. I had dreams of climbing up the men's bodies who would come into my dad's pharmacia, and I would dream about grabbing their what's it called when you've got stubble? Their stubbled face, and I would dream about making out and like sucking their bottom lip. I'm 10 years old.
Right.
Like
I had a swim team coach when I was a kid, basically. And he was also, now that I think about it, definitely gay. Definitely gay. But just blonde, ripped, so friendly, so nice. And I remember thinking like I would love to just like take a nap on his stomach. Yeah. And I was a good 7. Yeah.
But just how sweet for the nap to come to mind. I think it's like, you just want to sort of like feel his belly rise with his breaths, and there's a beautiful innocence to that. But the funny thing when we go to the Lost in Yonkers is that as you were explaining the gangster role being portrayed by this homosexual, I went to that he was portraying it as like a huge faggy fembot, but you're saying that he was actually pretty convincing as the gangster man. You just inherently knew that he was gay.
I something in me knew. Yeah. And he was presenting as like, hey kids, you want to walk around like you're tough. You know what I mean? It was very that. And then, but I just knew I was like, oh, something is not clean in this buttermilk,
Yeah, sure. And then you knew that one day
right.
you'd be churning your own buttermilk and creating
the buttermilk capital of the world, New York City. Yeah.
And I've always said that. Okay, since you are getting us into theatricality, I don't think I asked you this the last time you were here. Were you, Bryan Safi, giving us Broadway performances in your high school productions? Is there anything that you can name drop?
I really missed out on that.
Why?
I don't know. I really didn't like the drama teacher at the school. I just had a real Oh, by the way, I was cast in another Neil Simon play that was going to be like in my sophomore year, called Fools. I thought the script was god awful. I said, this is beneath me.
You're 14.
And also, exactly. And I also did not like the drama teacher. I thought she wasn't mean. I just didn't think she was very good. And so I went over into the speech and debate sort of sector. Yeah.
Which is
so
almost equally
like
gay, I'd say.
It is almost equally gay. The debate part, maybe not so much, but the speech part, like the dramatic interpretation, all that stuff, definitely. And for those, I did plays that I don't even know if they ever even actually got they must have been produced at some point because I got them from like Samuel French.
Sure.
But I'm trying to even remember the names of them. One was called My Son Susie. One was called
My Son Susie?
Yeah. Progressive.
Wow. It's ahead of its time.
Yep. And then another one was called like Rip Your Heart Out, Piece of Shit or something. I don't remember. To be honest.
Yeah, like my Samuel Frenchies were Check Please and then Check Please Take Two, or they were like the 1X that
right.
Sort of, raised me. No, I sort of love that you've always, dare I say, had a strong opinion. I think the fact that you have thought Neil Simon was a hack from teenage years, I find to be a really sort of Bryan Safi affirming thing. Do you think have you always been this way?
Well, I think I became confident enough to express that opinion. Probably when I was a kid, I was like, guys, this like isn't funny, or am I not funny? And now I'm firmly like, no, that's not funny.
Was when did the switch happen? Because I still to this day will have moments of like, is my whole career a mistake? Should I sort of be a buttermilk churner and not ever talk to another person for as long as I live?
No, because you're smart and funny. I mean, objectively, I think anyone could say
Bryan,
that.
thank you. But
your career's not a mistake.
But where does your confidence come from, I guess is the question, especially being a gay kid from Texas.
Right. I think I definitely always knew what I wanted and where I wanted to go in terms of, by what I wanted, I mean, get out of Texas and go to New York and become an actor.
Suck
dick, lay on stomachs. Exactly.
Lay on stomachs.
I knew that off immediately. And then I think I really had like we're so good now, but like my coming out was disastrous in terms of my family. Okay. So then I like didn't speak to them for a few years. And I think it all came from that being like, oh, right, I don't need these people. It'd be nice to have them sometime, but I don't really need this. And even when I became really good with them again and they came apologizing and wanted a really strong relationship, I was sort of like, yeah, I mean, that would be nice, but it's okay also if that doesn't happen. It did happen though, and I'm very happy for that.
Well, it's in a way, it's like you were sort of put through the ring of fire, as it were, to realize that you do have all that you need yourself. I think that maybe that's sometimes my issue is that, or my cross to bear is that I can sometimes fear that I do need outside, whether it's validation or whatever, instead of just like pull my own bootstraps up. But it seems like you.
I definitely need that too, though. I mean, for sure. Otherwise, why get on stage?
Well, by the way, speaking of the horrors of a solo show, I have similarly been taken one to a few different places, and it really is a equally gratifying and horrifying experience.
It's definitely both. Edinburgh definitely trained me for it, but I realized at the end, really about the middle of my run there, because you have great nights and then you have not so great nights. And then by the end, I feel like most of the nights were great because what was nice there is by the end of it, which is about as long as the run I'm doing in New York, I sort of was like, oh, I mean, you just have to make really yourself laugh and make the tech people laugh because they've seen it so much that if you can still get them, your show is working. And that is what the show developed into and also realizing, I think this was a big lesson for me, realizing that with a solo show, it is your show. In other words, it can morph every night if you want it to. You can go off track. Like I sometimes say this show is like Sleep No More for people pleasers because the audience shapes it so much now. It's so interactive in a hopefully non-annoying way that like we're all kind of in it together and every night's a big surprise.
Yeah, Sleep No More for People Pleasers also sounds like a horror house. Like what's it called?
Know.
Like a what's it? Wait, why is it too early that I'm having? What are Halloween? What are they called when you go to get scared?
Haunted houses.
Thank you, haunted house. It's a haunted house because I'm too a people pleaser. In fact, the description on the website for your show is Safi spirals through anxiety, awkwardness, and people pleasing, and the absurd emotional gymnastics of wanting desperately to be liked, which I think many of us gay girlies experience. But the Sleep No More reference really tickled me. I had an ex-boyfriend, my first ever boyfriend, my first love, so intense. He was beautiful. We were so in love. He was also always broke, but he would save $112 every few weeks to go see Sleep No More and then try to make out with the boy witch, and it would piss me off every goddamn time.
Obviously it would. This person was saving money to spend not on you, but to have a chance with someone who was in probably the most annoying show that's ever existed.
I too did not really get the hype when I saw it.
Me neither.
Like,
I would rather see the interactive Phantom, to be honest. Like that I will see.
I hear it's so good. Masquerade, I hear it's so good.
How? I hear that too, but like I hear that too, but like how is it possible?
A friend of mine who is a real big bitch loved it. So
yeah.
I think
everyone I talked to was like, it's amazing. And I guess, frankly, like before I saw Jellicle Ball, when people said, oh, Cats is incredible, I was like, girl, so maybe. But
well, that's I've had to be careful with Cats the Jellicle Ball because I really did love it. But I also, I'm getting a little more comfortable on the mic saying this, but I think like the reality is the reality, which is that Cats the Jellicle Ball is so fucking brilliant. What they are doing is so fun, and the performers are killer, and yet it is the musical Cats. Like there is, when I went and saw it and I started to hear, "Are you blind when you're born?" or whatever it is, I was like, oh, so it's I was sort of hoping for a new show.
Yeah. Right. To me, it's the only time the show's made sense. Is
100%. And I agree with that. I agree with that. It's just, Cats.
You're just saying at the end of the day, it's the music from Cats.
It is. And I have a fraught relationship with that piece. I'm married to somebody who is deeply entrenched in the fandom, which I can only respect.
Okay.
But I have, I think, resentment towards him because he forced me to see the movie in theaters, and I felt that was a waste of my coinage.
Yeah.
I did see the revival, like, I don't know, 10 years ago in New York, and I thought it was, again, like the performers were killer, but I'm also like, what is happening?
You know what is interesting? It really is a performer show. I mean,
it is.
It's such a chance. It's almost like a chorus line in that way, where it's like such a chance to do a full flex, and yet you're in this shit show. You know what I mean?
But that's why I think the Jellicle Ball works so well, is because the casting was so brilliant. Like when Memory happens in the second act, I fully cried. Girl, I know what's gonna happen. I know, but it's just, that, and that's of course worth the price of admission alone. Also, Rum Tum Tugger, who is one of the hottest men alive.
By the way, fully half chubbed basically through that whole show.
And thank goodness gracious.
Yeah, I wish it's 9 a.m. That's what everyone wanted. Right?
Well, I wish that he did this podcast, and I wish I had asked him about his half chub, but whatever. I'll have to.
Oh, I meant I was.
Oh,
yeah.
I meant had the half chub.
Of course, yeah.
I mean, the outfits alone would bring blood flow to
any human. Yeah.
Any human's genitalia. Speaking of, I'm not going to go speaking of hot genitalia, but speaking of, there was something you brought up about being a young gay guy in New York that I just wanted to really make sure I hone in on before we head over to Substack and I ask my final questions on the main. Did you see the recent clip that's getting attention from Kevin Fallon's podcast, who we love here? He interviewed Andrew Rannells, and Andrew Rannells said that he dated Anderson Cooper, and there was a storyline from Girls that was inspired by Andrew Rannells telling Lena Dunham this. And there was like an age gap thing from Girls that was inspired by Andrew Rannells dating Anderson Cooper.
Wow. No, I had no idea.
Isn't that great lore?
You know first of all, it's incredible. I don't see them together I mean, I know None of
I don't
these people.
either.
But
No,
it's
same.
Yeah, but it's kind of
It's
an
our prerogative
odd combo.
to sort of do our own psychological deep dives, because let's call a spade a spade. Anderson Cooper is giving, serious journalist who sure has
Yes.
a little schoolgirl giggle from time to time. And Andrew Rannells is giving sort of, I don't know, show queen,
Yeah.
entertainment, like I just can't
And
see
professional though. I could see him being kind of
Very-
I don't know if I'm a Rannells. For me, I would want to go on the date with Andrew. Yeah.
You would want to go on the date with Andrew and Anderson Cooper. You think Bryan Safi and Anderson Cooper would not be
I
a
don't
match
think
made in
it's the
heaven?
right fit. No, because I don't like to be intimidated by people, And I feel like I would come in with such a chip on my shoulder being like, yeah, I read the entire New York Times today for this date. Like, I don't want to do that kind of homework.
And he's like, no one asked you to, but you're still, the
I'll be
resentment's
so
already
defensive. Yeah.
out of the station. Yeah.
And then
That
when he ordered, I would say, that's what I was going to get. You know what I mean?
Shit.
Stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This might explain your relationship to Neil Simon, if I may.
God. It turns out having strong opinions is just me being really insecure and having to scream something out quick.
I read the New York Times, Anderson. Okay.
Yeah. All right.
No, I've always had too big of a crush on Anderson Cooper, and I think that it's fun. It's fun to see our sort of like insecurities and issues diverge, because for me, I think the reason why I do go towards Anderson Cooper is because I want to convince him that I matter, even though I know he doesn't think I do.
To me, I have a real issue with. I get very nervous around people who are old money. And
Vanderbilt of it all.
It's like the whole, I never whisper. So the whole, money talks, wealth whispers is something I can't get on board with. Like, I'm clumsy.
I never whisper. Yeah.
Never. I'm half Middle Eastern. Everyone in my family knocks over shit on every table. You know what I mean? Like, we walk in, we're talking over the televisions. Like, I couldn't imagine dating someone like him. It would be very uncomfortable for me.
It's a great, I think Jews are very similar to that, where Jews have never whispered in their life. And I think that I too would feel intimidated by the old money of it all.
Yeah.
But how nice would it be to not have to worry about
anything like that?
Anything? Yeah. Yeah. Well, listen, I do want to ask before the final character actress question. You like to see it. You, in our last interview for this pod, said you like to see the world and you like the world to see you. You've traveled all over, and I want.
Yeah, go ahead.
I, first of all, baited you probably into saying that, so don't have any self-hatred when I tell you that was said. But I do want to make sure we touch in on that. You recently went to Mexico City with the gay icon Michelle Collins.
Yes.
And I just want to send her some public love because I am obsessed with her. Can you give us a quick snapshot into what Bryan Safi and Michelle Collins got up to?
It was so fun. We were there very, very limited to like 4 days or something. We had booked this hotel that looked great. We got there. It wasn't. We immediately checked out, went to a different hotel that was much better and cheaper. So it actually worked out in our favor. We walked everywhere. She's a great traveler, because I travel like this too, where I like to have a couple of things on reserve in case I need them. But I really just like walking around, looking in a restaurant or anything, a shop, and being like, oh, that looks fun. I want to go in there. And usually when you're only 1 or 2 people, you can just say, do you have anything at the bar? They always do. And so you don't really need to worry about, and neither of us are also like fine dining people. I know that Mexico City is known for really these like 5 stars, 11-course meals. That's never really been my vibe. The food there that we had was delicious, but I like playing it a little bit loose when I travel and not feeling like, now sometimes I'll make reservations or I'll want to go on a specific tour or something, but this was actually a very chill trip in a way that I loved. It felt very immersive. It was very sleep no more.
And you know what?
It all Masquerade.
Comes back. It all comes back to Masquerade.
It was fun. And the menswear there was so great. Like, it was fun to go shopping there.
Oh, I love a shopping moment. You did you and Michelle go just on like a friend trip, or was there work involved?
There was
or
no purpose to it. Yeah. It was she was going to go and said, "Are you around this weekend?" or whichever, a few weeks ago. And I said yes. And so I just went down there. Yeah. It was great.
See, I'm feeling inspired by you because I'm I tend to come from a place of scarcity in many ways, and I'm really trying to get better at like, paying for the trip and going to see the world, and not constantly worrying about, am I being productive enough and am I saving enough and blah blah blah.
But
like,
you are. I don't know about your savings, but I will say you are productive enough. You work really hard, and like you should. You should. I know what you mean, though. It's like when I'm out of town, that's when it happens, and it's like it doesn't.
Right.
And by the way, you can fly back if it does.
Literally. And I actually am about to go, not on like a girl pal trip to Mexico City, but I am about to go for a week with my in-laws. We do it every summer to Amelia Island off of Jacksonville, Florida.
Fabulous.
It's a very sweet, lovely vacation we do every single year. But my big plan is to read Lena Dunham's new memoir. So I will be reporting back on that.
I did do the audio version of it on actually Michelle's recommendation. It's great. I loved it. Yeah. It's really good.
Love. Well, let's do the final podcast question that I did ask you a few years ago, but the answer can always change because it's sort of like a daily check-in. Bryan Safi, the final question we asked before we go over to Substack is, if the world was ending, you could only save one character actress, who would you save?
Well, I want to know, who did I pick last time? I'm curious. I don't remember. Do you remember?
I don't remember, bro.
Okay, it's fine. First of all, the World of Wonder guys were on recently. I listened to that episode, and they said one of them said Tim Curry, which was so funny to me. And first of all, I want to say the entire cast of Clue is worth saving.
A character
on
actress.
That island. Absolutely.
Yes, I agree.
Every single one of those people. I'm going to go with, I tried to think of someone more current because mine are always, so I think I'm going to go with Juliette Lewis.
Oh my God. Wait, what is stunning answer? Because it's also very timely.
Yes. And
Rocky Horror.
And I remember first seeing her in Cape Fear. And she is, I think she got an Oscar nomination for that. It's when she was dating Brad Pitt. She is
God,
incredible in that movie.
Talk about lore of like not only actress who's been working for so many years, but then to have the Brad Pitt part of your story, which I've read reports, and let's just say it seems like to date Brad Pitt must be a story at the very least, as well. At the
very least. And then I just love her origin story of, I think she emancipated herself when she was like 15 or 16 so that she could work.
I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah. And then, and I just love everything she brings. Every time she's on screen, she is so compelling, so raw, and also so friendly. Like it looks like she would be your cool friend who's not scary,
100%. There's also, I have not thought about this clip in ages, but have you seen the clip of her in her car?
Yes. Listening to like Prodigy.
Okay. Right now. Yeah. Well, it's this one. I never share screen during an episode, but the fact that I have the ability, I'm going to do it right now. This is the clip that is a Juliette Lewis classic.
Can't you save us, Britney Spears? Can we be saved? God, why is Satan controlling the universe?
Okay. I gotta say, if she and Sandra Bernhard entered a room together, what would happen? I mean, that
World War XII. World War XII. Skip all the world wars. Oh my God. That really was what I needed. Also a final Juliette Lewis topic that I'm so glad we're having sort of like 4 stages of Juliette Lewis, because she's leaving Rocky Horror. And I just like saw the announcement and saw that Sherry Renee Scott is replacing her, which think is so, I just want to know One day I'm going to ask either Sam Pinkleton or whoever I can. I just want to know, like, what happens when an Oscar-winning actress does Rocky Horror Picture Show, goes through the rigmarole of an 8-show week and the Tonys, calling out left and right, because how could she not?
Yeah.
And then days after the Tonys announces that you're leaving and gets replaced by a Broadway legend. I just think there's so much lore there that I would love one day to hear the behind the scenes of. God.
By the way, Renee Scott is someone who I would see in literally absolutely anything.
Anything. Wow. Brian, thank you for bringing up Juliette Lewis and allowing us to watch her car crash out, for allowing us to. Will you save us, Britney Spears?
Simpler times.
Before we talk about horny topics, will you please tell these gorgeous listeners where to follow you and how they can get tickets to your stunning solo show?
You can get tickets to Are You Mad at Me at areyoumaddatme.show.com. By the way, it's 70 minutes. So, and these were 7 p.m. shows mostly. So you can go there and get dinner after. It's my favorite time of day.
Same.
And you can go to areyoumaddatme.show.com, or it's in my Instagram link. You can go to @Bryan Safi for those tickets.
Gorgeous. We have linked Bryan Safi's Instagram in the chat. Go get those tickets. Go see the show. It's just so amazing to see Bryan Safi taking his people-pleasing life to the stage. And I know everybody seeing it will be gleeking their glukes off. Now, Bryan Safi, as we get into horny topics, you have told us that you're in a relation. We would say he's civilian, which I find to be such a beautiful union between entertainment and civil. However, I want to go controversial outside of your relationship. Bryan, on December 31st, you captioned an Instagram post, "Bi 2025," and bi was spelled B-I. Is that a hidden message? Are you bisexual?
It isn't, but I do also sign many of my emails off with bi, B-I. And it's just because I'm an idiot. Doesn't make any sense. But I'm not bi. No, I want to put that to bed. I am not bi. But I'm a bi advocate. I appreciate
bi visibility is
bi visibility.
Huge.
It is.
So have you ever been with a woman?
No, like not all the way. No, I've been 3/4.
And if I were to interpret 3/4, that probably
third
means...
base, I guess, or no, second maybe.
Oh yeah, the bases. I don't know if it's because I'm gay. I don't know if it's because I've never had sex with a woman as well. But the bases always confused me. I do not know what they are.
Hand play.
Yeah, that's where that's also where I landed with women. Woman. Right. I did one-time hand play and was so flaccid you could not even imagine. I just biologically couldn't get there.
I could actually. I remember it being kind of fun, but it just never progressed beyond that. I would just shut off after a little while. Yeah. So that's the most I could do.
Well, thank you for opening up about your bisexual history and clearing your name. Now, general question that you can take in any direction. When we talk about either formative hookup moments, whether it was like super exciting or an embarrassing getting caught moment, or just like so affirming or delicious or international even, are there any tales that come to mind that you feel comfortable spilling on this Gay Ass Pod? And then we'll cut off anything once it gets dirty, we cut it off so that it's only for the paid girlies and the real ones listening.
Got it. Okay, I have a couple different ones, but I will say one was actually here in this place in my apartment in LA, and really handsome guy, very sexy. We did a little sexy, and by that I mean like I am never this guy really, but I don't know. It just was fun. We did a little door open. You understand? Like I left the door open after I buzzed him in, and it was either going to be him or my literal 99-year-old neighbor. So I don't know.
Peeks their head in. Is everything okay?
Yeah. I don't know who was kind of going to come a hobbling, but the right guy came a hobbling in, and I was in my bed like this. You understand? Arms behind my head. Kicked back, as they say.
Yeah.
You understand? Yeah. The words we use, not in real life, but on that app.
Yep.
And we whatever, started hooking up. And he had put like his gym bag down by my bed. And I noticed that on his gym bag were sunglasses that looked exactly like mine. And I was sort of like, huh, how weird. Like, that's so funny that must have the same sunglasses. Like, what a world. You know what I mean? Like, maybe.
What a world.
What a world. But I started to think as we were hooking up, I think those are my sunglasses. Like,
For the rest of the interview, head to Substack, linked below, where you will also find chats with Colin Braun, Rich Burns, Christopher Patterson Rosso, Tyler Varvel, Sebastian Dino, Cody Silver, Johnny Sibley, Sam Altizer, and more. It's at substack.com/@EricWills. And I will see you there for a gorgeous, hairy, horny time. I love you. Bye.